everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Jennifer, and today we're going to be using the Suqqu Pre Summer collection. I'll show you the entire collection. I'm not going to be able to use all of it today, but we'll use particular pieces. This collection is really unique. If you're not familiar with Suqqu, you should be. It's a beautiful, beautiful line of cosmetics, and they always have a very soft, ethereal look. And in general, the colors that they use are a little bit more subdued. However, this collection is a little bit different. This collection is all based on sea glass. And I have to say, I think it's my favorite collection I've ever seen from Suqqu. It might even be just my favorite collection. It's really beautiful. In addition to that quad, there's another quad. There's gloss that also comes in this like sea glass color. Now, when they say sea glass, it doesn't just have to be this green. There are some lavenders and some peaches and purples, but it's all that very, you know, that soft sort of rubbed down sea glass look. And I'm really, really impressed. So we're gonna play around with that today, and I'm gonna show you how, although it might look a little intimidating in the pan, it looks just stunning on the face. So first, I want to show you, I'm using the reformulated product from Chantecaille. This is their eye firming lifting cream, and I'm gonna show it to you on camera today because I am, and I'm gonna just, you know, admit it, I'm exhausted. It has a little pump and the little, so you just kind of go like that. You saw how it came out. I'm exhausted, and I'm exhausted because my job is, you know, frankly, an exhausting job in general. But this week, I kind of went back to travel. And when I say kind of, I used to travel all the time. I used to travel, I don't know, a couple of times a month. And then, of course, you know, everything went into lockdown. And, you know, I haven't really traveled pretty much at all, very, very sparingly, in the last 2 years. And so this conference, I've been to another one in February. The one in February was exhausting. And this one was exhausting. And I'm just tired. I'm just tired. And, you know, sometimes you just have to admit when you just don't have it all together. I do not have it all together. So I thought it would be good to put this on at the beginning to see if that, you know, kind of freshens up my eyes a little bit. The product absolutely does work, and it does kind of lift the skin and brighten up the eye area. So I certainly do recommend it. I just haven't been using it long enough to be like, yes, absolutely, there's no problems with it. So anyway, I thought it would be good for me to put it on at the beginning because, as you can see by my hair and my skin and everything, it's just not together today. So if I end up looking halfway decent at the end of this, it's because of Suqqu and not because of me. So this is the Suqqu, the liquid foundation. This came out a little while ago, and I just never got a chance to use it because there were so many foundations that came out. Pump it on the back of my hand. Definitely runnier than their other foundation, which I absolutely love, the one that's in the tub. The only thing I don't like about it is you have to scoop it out of the little tub. I'm just looking on here to see if there's any information. It's in Japanese, so I can't read it. SPF of 15 and 30 milliliters. I have it in shade 210. So while I put this on my face, I will talk to you about how I picked my shade. The shades are, I want to say difficult because let's face it, picking your foundation shade is just difficult across the board. But the numbers I don't think they really see, again, I want to be careful how I say this because I don't think any of them make sense. But it is a little difficult to figure out what shade you are. And the 210 is actually not deeper than like 110. It's cooler. That's what I mean. So what I did was I reached out to the Selfridges folks at the Suqqu counter at Selfridges and asked them for a swatch. And I gave them like what I wore in other foundations and asked them, you know, if they could like do 2 or 3 swatches to give me an idea what color I would need. And I told them that I wore the 210 in the cream, the other foundation. And they said that the two were very, very similar, which they are, and that they did send me some like They swatched on their hand, they sent me pictures. But also, there were a bunch of swatches that Suqqu had on their Instagram site for the entire range, so all the shades for the liquid foundation. And I did share those, or at least I think I shared those, on my Instagram page, like a story. And I know that, you know, Suqqu itself did that. Like there were pictures on the Suqqu Instagram page. I don't know if they're still up there, but I'll see if I can find them for you guys when I edit this video. So, you know, it was, there were options to try to figure out what shade you would be. It's always best if you can do it in person, obviously, because, you know, there are differences in undertones. You might be able to find a shade that's the right intensity for you, but I have like pink peachish undertones, and you know, other people have more yellow or more golden or more olive, etc. I think this one looks really good, great finish, definitely lighter than the other foundation in viscosity and in coverage. I think the other one has a little bit more coverage, and I think it's a little bit more moisturizing. This is more natural looking. This one's less dewy, the other one's more dewy. My skin is also not like great today, guys. Like I said, I'm tired. You've all been there, I know. Let's take a look at the blushes. I'll put on a little bit of bronzer today, but I don't technically have a Suqqu bronzer. I have some blushes that work as bronzer, but all right, so here's the two shades. We have 130. These are the ombre, the pure color blushes. So these aren't the melting blushes. The melting blushes are the ones that came out. I'm looking for the best way to. Melting blushes are the ones that came out earlier this year that I've said are very similar, really similar to Old Chanel, and really like them. But I will tell you, I've always liked the Suqqu formula in blushes, but these blushes are a ombre, so you've got the blush and a highlighter all in one. I tend to put them together, just use it as a highlighting blush, but you can certainly use them separately like I'm doing now to swatch them for you. And then here's the lavender one, which I will hold up in just one second. Let me swatch it for you first. And I think this one is gonna work better on me as just a highlighter, because I think the purple will stand out a little bit too much because I'm so pale, but we'll see. This is 131. And those are 130 and 131. So we'll see. Like, I'm not absolutely sure, because, you know, once you put this on your cheek, it's gonna look different than it does in the pan. Let's use the lavender, and let's see what happens when I use it just as blush. This is a Chikuhodo KZO2 brush, which is a very fluffy brush. Let's use it like more on the blush side. I'm using it more on the lavender side here, just to see what we get. Oh, actually, it looks very nice. It does have like a purple, not purple, but like a lavender cast to it on someone who's very, very pale. So I'm gonna take the highlighting part and kind of blend it in to and see. Yeah, I kind of like it better on me as more of a highlighting blush, or just a highlighter, frankly. Random hair there. It really is beautiful. I have to say, seriously, the Suqqu blushes for powder, they are absolutely beautiful powder blushes. If you want to get into creams and stuff, I have a different conversation. But in regards to powder blush, these have become my favorite. They weren't my favorite like a year ago, but I think they are becoming that. I'm going to take a little bit of this pink and just kind of pop it. It's much brighter, you can see that. Just a little bit. They just blend so beautifully. All the Suqqu products. They have this ethereal feel to them that you don't really see in any other brand across the board. Really beautifully done. All right, so I'm gonna take a little bit. This is their Suqqu palette from I don't know when. It's a blush compact, it's number 103. I'll link it if still exists. And I'm going to take this shade here, which for me actually works very much like a bronzer. It's not particularly deep, and I know that, but on me, it works well. And like I said, all the powders blend so beautifully together that, you know, you don't ever have to worry about like one of their products not blending with another product. They blend perfectly. And they kind of, you know, these aren't the melting products, but I have to say they absolutely do melt into the skin. You can see the sheen that it gives on the face. And frankly, how much healthier I look now than I did just a little while ago. Combination of, I think, the foundation, of course, and the various face products. Okay, let's take a look at the glosses and the lip products, and then we'll get to the eye. So today I'm not going to use the lip fogs, I'm going to use the gloss, but I want to show you these shades. They really are beautiful. If you haven't tried the lip fog formula, it's like a very soft lipstick. I don't know how else to explain it. It comes in these kind of little doe foot applicators, and it's a very soft, cushiony look. It stays on your lips. This is 109. It's almost like a soft matte, but it has more glow to it than that. These aren't the lip glows. The lip glows have a definite glow to them. I have to say though, they're one of my favorite formulas because they're really just easy to wear. The shades are all beautiful. Most of them are pretty, quote, neutral, so you can wear them like, you know, with anything. This is 108 here, and this is 109. Usually what Suqqu does when they do their collections, they'll have warm and a cool. So this is the warm, that's the cool, and they both work on me. I actually really like them both, but I would say like this one's probably what I lean more towards. And it just goes on smoothly, it stays on your lips, it dries down to a comfortable, soft matte look. It stays on, you don't have to reapply very often. And as it wears off, it does leave kind of a little bit of stain on your lips, or at least it leaves one on mine. That imparts a little bit of pigment, which is just nice to have. Now the glosses, you've got the green, and you've got this. It kind of looks lavender, like the lavender that was in the blush. And the shades are, we've got 111, which is the lavender, and 110, which is the green. I think on the lips, you're gonna notice it's very different. Same kind of applicator in these. You've got the doe foot applicator, which I personally like. There's the green. Instead of a brush, I like the doe foot in a gloss. I think it's easier to apply. But you see how it gives you that, it's like a goldish sheen. Which you can add to any other lip color and kind of warm it up a little bit, change the shade. And here's the lavender, which will, I think, cool down different shades. Both, when you put them on the lips, they're not, you know, super pigmented, so you're not going to be like, oh, that's purple and that's green. But there really is a gorgeous shine to them. And when we get to the lips, I'll put the green gloss on my lips by itself, and then I'll put a liner on so you can see the difference. All right, so the quads. So the quads are usually the showstoppers in Suqqu, and I don't think this is any different. This one is 113, which is more of the purples, lavenders that we've seen in the collection. This one is 114. Which has more of that green blue. So let's swatch the 113, which, like I said, has more of the purple, and we'll put it here so we don't get, I got the, you know what, we'll do it on the hand so that it's not conflicting with anything. Now, the matte shades that are in these, both of these, are very pigmented, actually. And that's the thing about Suqqu, like sometimes they have shades that are very soft and that don't have a lot of pigment, but then a lot of times there'll be like one shade that does actually impart quite a bit, so that you can use that as a highlighter, or you can use it, I mean, not as a highlighter, as a liner, or you can use it as an, you know, something to emphasize the look. So there's the purple. It's a great purple. It's like a purple gray. Then you've got this orange satin, then this pinky peach satin, and here's the lavender topper. Now, I know it's a little hard to see on my hand, but Suqqu does these toppers extremely well. They don't look like much on the hand or when you swatch them. When you put them on the eye, they can change the entire look. Now let's swatch 114. And like I said, the matte shade in here, which is that bluish gray shade, it's a beautiful shade. And it's the thing that drew me to this collection. There was just something about it. I don't know. I mean, I know a lot of people are like, well, it's blue, you can't wear blue. But blue is actually far more wearable than people think. I think for those of us who are older, as myself, we sort of are drawn back to the 80s when there was this, I don't know, there was like too much blue. Maybe that's just my opinion. But it was a different kind of blue. It was not a sophisticated blue. So here's the matte. As you can see, quite deep. Here's the, I'd call it sea green shimmer. Here's the gold, beautiful gold. That would be gorgeous on the eye by itself. And that's more of a topper, but I'd have to say it's more pigmented than the lavender and the other one. And then this is like the peach. Isn't that pretty? And yes, this is more of a pastel, except for that blue that's in there that really needs to, that really grounds it for me. So I'm gonna do something that, I'm gonna do a look that works for me. I think a lot of folks are gonna like it more with that peach and gold and just keep it, you know, peach and gold and a little bit of green. I really like that blue, and so I'm gonna use it. But I get that blue is not for everybody, understood. But I wanna show you how I think it would work well in a everyday look. All right, so let's take the peach shade and start with the peach shade. So I'm gonna use all the shades in here, although I will admit if I was just doing this myself, I would probably use the blue and green to do this, but I wanna show you how you can use all the shades to make this look work. So I'm gonna take this peach and put this on the eye. I am using Suqqu brushes. Suqqu brushes are beautiful brushes. Really comfortable on the eye, like they don't irritate my eyes even when they're sensitive like they are. Well, my eyes are always sensitive, but my skin is particularly difficult right now because I'm stressed and tired. But the pigment goes on really well, and you don't have to blend a lot with these, which is interesting because usually you have to blend, like you have to blend a shade out, but these, I don't know what it is about these, but you don't really have to blend that much. Okay, let's take the light green shade and I'm gonna put it, look how pretty that is. It's just such a beautiful shade. Yeah, that's gonna look gorgeous by itself. I'm putting it on like the outer half of the eye. And you'll see in a minute what I'm doing here, but at the moment, starting in the middle, just going towards the outside, on top of the peach shade. Take the gold shade and kind of pop it just in this inner corner area. Get more shimmer. I'll put it over the eye as well, but you can just see like it kind of emphasizes that inner corner area. Bring some lightness to that. And you can see that these shades, like I said, these are a little bit more pastel in nature, how light and pretty it is, but you could build up this green. Let me show you what I mean by that. It's not as if the shade doesn't have pigment. It definitely does. It's just soft and it looks pretty on the eye. It gives like just a nice, not a wash of color. It's more than a wash of color, but it doesn't accentuate lines. It doesn't look chalky. Because you know, a lot of pastels can look chalky, and this doesn't do that at all. All right, now we're gonna take the blue. This is the matte shade. And I'm just gonna go, because it is pigmented, taking that blue and just blending it into that green on the outer corner. Do the same on the other side. Kind of just patting it in right now. And I'm keeping it really light because I want it to kind of be a transition from the gold to the peach to the green to the blue. Can you kind of see how that works? But it's light and all looks like, you know, it meshes. Now this deep blue, you could definitely use it as a much deeper shade. I've chosen not to do that. I'm keeping it light. And then I'm gonna take this gold shade and put it all over the whole thing. It's really pretty. Suqqu does an amazing job with this formula. It's just works really well. Don't have any other, it's soft. I just don't know how they do that. All right, so I'm gonna take this blue, and this is the matte, and I'm gonna use it as liner, but I'm gonna take that seafoam green and go over it. Yeah, it's really pretty, guys. I mean, I admit, I really wanna do a look with just the blue and green, which I will probably do and have a picture for you guys, but I just think it's such a pretty, springy, summery look. So I think you can see, like, you can use this blue very lightly so that you get a nice subdued blue and not like a grayish blue and not a deep blue. I plan on using this and making it a deeper color and trying it with like the gold, because like that'll be a gorgeous shade. I think with the peach, it's gonna be beautiful. I would like to just use this all over the eye. I'd like to use the gold all over the eye too. I think these shades are fantastic. I really, really, really like these. I admit I'm a sucker for a blue and a green. I'm really loving this. So let me put on some mascara. I don't have Suqqu mascara. So let me put on some mascara and then we'll come back and we'll try out the lip gloss. Okay, brought you in a little bit closer when we do the lips, and I wanted to show you, I did like a little teeny wing, like a tiny, tiny wing, with the blue, and I used the angled brush that I picked up from Suqqu on the site. I'll make sure I link it below so you guys, if you're interested in it. But it does create, for powder, a really nice wing if you're interested in having that. So the mascara is Calorie. Just put that on so you guys can see it. I really like this quad. I think the shades are beautiful. And as always for Suqqu, they blend beautifully together. It's not necessarily a combination that you would immediately think of, but the shades all work together. I personally, when I use this quad, I'm gonna probably do this one and this one together, and I'm probably going to use this one, the peach, with the blue. I'm also going to use the peach maybe like all over the eye, or the gold all over the eye. I think these three shimmer shades can be used by themselves beautifully, and I think this blue is a fantastic anchor for the look. I also think that you could use this blue in a much, like I said, deeper way and create something more fall than I did. Because this is much more a spring, summer, which is a pre-summer kind of look. You know, you've got a little bit of that sea glass. That's exactly what I think of when I see this kind of look. It's very colorful, but it's a toned down colorful. It's not, it's like a watercolor. That's what I kind of think of. So it's not really a pastel. It's like a watercolor, which I think looks really pretty. Not something I do as often, which is maybe why I like it. I think it looks really nice. All right, so green gloss, because everybody's been asking me, what does green gloss look like on your lips? So I'm gonna show you. It doesn't look green. On my lips, you get a, I'd say a peachy pink. Looks a little bit like it's got a warm undertone to it. I think it looks beautiful with the eye look, with the shades. I think it looks great by itself, but let's look at it, what it would look like with a pencil. I'm gonna pull out, this is the, I think it's beige. I think that's actually the name of the shade. Suqqu pencil. Now I always like to use a pencil first, but I think that gives you an idea that you can change the shade depending on the pencil that you use with it, because I think the gloss is something that can add a little bit of a look to your lips. Like on my lips, as you saw without the pencil, it definitely imparts a sheen and a shade and a little bit of pigment, but not a lot. It just is gonna change whatever you have going underneath. So it depends on what the shade of your lips are, like how pigmented your lips are. And I think it also depends on like what other look you're wearing. So I was already wearing like this green bluish kind of look, so I think it, you know, it matches that. It feels very comfortable. It's a beautiful gloss, not too thick, not tacky, not sticky. Yeah, it looks really, really nice. So final thoughts. I absolutely love this quad, and I know, like I said, it's not gonna be everyone's cup of tea because it's got these, you know, more watercolor sea glass kind of shades, but I'm absolutely drawn to them because I feel like it's just not something I have. It's not something I use very often. And I don't really like pastels, but as I said, I see these more as like watercolors, and that I do love. And then these shades, I think are gonna be beautiful as well. You've got more of that purple cool, but then you've got this orange here that I think is gonna be this peach that's gonna be really interesting to see how that looks on the eye. So, loving that. The gloss, like I said, I think it looks really nice. I'll try out the cool toned one in another video. The lip fogs are fantastic. I'm really looking forward to the lip fogs. I think those will be more, you know, like a neutral look, whereas the gloss I think is a little bit more springy. Do you know what I mean? I think the lip fog shades could be worn any time of year. Now, these could be worn any time of year as well, but I do think it has more of that spring look to it. I'm not exactly sure why, but it feels that way to me. Blushes are stunning, as they always are. Love the blushes. The foundation, I'm gonna be frank with you, I don't like it as much as their other foundation. Their other foundation, I'm just looking at it right now, the Suqqu, the cream foundation. Yeah, that's what I was calling it. So it comes in this little jar. I think the cream foundation looks better on my skin. I think my skin looks more moisturized with this. Like my skin is a little dry right in here. You can't really see it, but it's a little dry right around here. Not a lot, it's fine through my forehead. It just looks a little, a little cakey, not cakey, but you know what I mean? Like a little dry right through my area of my mouth. I'll wear it for a while. It's the first time I'm using it, so we'll see. It also could be, like I said, because my skin has, it's been through a lot. It's been through a lot this week, guys. So that could be it, but I think I like their cream foundation better. I mean, you know, it's all preference. Yeah, I really like this look. I kind of don't want to take it off, like, at all. It's different for me. It's not something I usually do, and I don't usually do a wing either. And I like the blue. I don't know, it's different. It looks more springy. Spring, summer, it looks kind of pretty. I don't usually use these shades, and maybe I should use them more often. It's just kind of fun. Anyway, so that is the Suqqu Pre-Summer Collection. Like I said, I'll do a look with the other shades as well. If you're interested in Suqqu, it is at Selfridges. I don't know if they'll still be at Selfridges when this video goes up. I'll make sure the links are there. And then I do believe it's going to be at Harrods. And I'll make sure to notify you all when it's up there as well. So thanks so much for joining me today, guys. And I definitely look a lot better than I did at the beginning of the video. So that's a good thing. And that's all due to Suqqu, certainly not me. Thanks so much for joining me today, guys. I really do appreciate it. Hope to see you in another video really soon.